everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bosman, and joining us this week, Michael Damiani.
What's up?
Ben Moore.
Hello.
Brandon Jones.
Hi.
And, big surprise, making this all happen, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Yay! Let's begin corrections. Let's just roll right in. Begin correction music, please. No, dude. Before corrections, we gotta play Glenny's Cauldron. Rewind. Okay, let's play Glenny's Cauldron. This is where our witch friend Glenny has sent us to the Wizard's Market to buy some vile ingredients for her most vile video game that will toss the ingredients into the cauldron. Our patrons are the people who sell us these ingredients. We apparently have some very vile patrons. In fact, I make the post for all patrons $5 and up. I make this post weekly. It's now become 92% Glenny's Cauldron, and then maybe 10 submissions for love and respect. It is mostly Glenny stuff. Today we're going into a very specific store. For some reason, these things are highly specific. From G the Finger, redeeming codes found under the cap of participating Mountain Dew beverages unlocks powerful armor covered in Mountain Dew branding. If you abstain from the promotion, your party will occasionally comment about how good a Mountain Dew would taste about right now.
I love this.
From Zatvoon Dude, there's a cutscene where all the characters in your party hear news of a death of an NPC that was mentioned once before in the story, and they all act incredibly devastated even though this character was insignificant.
Also very good.
Which do we want to buy?
I mean, clearly the Mountain Dew is the worst.
Is that
Or the
clearly
best.
the worst?
You know?
I think it's hilarious.
I kind of want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
The fact that they comment about it
That's
if you
the
don't
kicker.
use it is
Yeah.
so funny. It
You're
ruins
walking
your
around
game
just like,
either
That's
way.
the home run.
And it interrupts battles sometimes.
Imagine a main character death.
Yes.
Okay, you've been playing the game for 30 hours.
Yeah.
Somebody you really care about dies, and they do that thing, ellipses. I could really go for a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm picturing like in Dragon's Dogma where your pawns just constantly
Yes,
scream
yes.
the same things over and over. Like, Master, the refreshing taste of Mountain Dew.
when they go, I have more information about this quest. A Mountain Dew would really help you.
Yeah.
But I also love we'll say we got to give the NPC a name, I think, for this to really truly settle in. Dovis. So suddenly there's this cutscene where we find out Dovis is dead, and it's 5 minutes long, and everyone has their hands in their heads and just
Telling stories
Yeah,
of,
just
Dovis.
why Dovis?
But then you're done. Then after that cutscene, you're over, whereas Mountain Dew's going to haunt you the whole
Very
time.
true,
You're
very
You're
true.
literally going to be prepping, going through your stats for that final battle. You're going to be looking at the staircase going up to the last boss.
Oh, I
And
got
it's
the
just I can go for a Mountain Dew right now. It's all the way until the very end.
I got the impression that the spirit of the thing meant that it haunts the characters that Dovis is dead the entire game. They're sad about it forever.
yeah, you know what? I'm going to say they're sad about Dovis for the whole game.
And we never met him.
Yeah. And in fact, when you're up to the final boss, it's for Dovis!
Right.
For Dovis! And so you can never really get why and that's it, right? The final boss does nothing else bad. You just know that he or she killed Dovis at one point.
I learned the dark arts for Dovis. Yeah,
Still-
I think to me that's worse.
Really? The Dovis thing?
More annoying to
Yes.
me. Yes,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
Right. The bad guy never even talks to you, isn't trying to control any country or anything. All you know about this bad guy is that they at one point killed Dovis. Damiani, I need to hear your opinion on this, man.
I mean, I'm just thinking about this NPC cutscene and
Yeah.
it also being uninterrupted by a Mountain Dew.
You can't
Callbacks.
stack. You can't stack.
No.
You can't buy
The
both.
NPCs will also be oh, poor Dovis. And by the way, Mountain Dew.
We don't have enough doubloons to buy both ingredients, Damiani.
I think immersion ruining crap like that would be worse to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have two for Mountain Dew. Ian, are you a Mountain Dew as well?
No, I'm NPC.
Oh, which one is immersion breaking?
NPC thing.
The NPC.
It's so stupid. Dovis, who's
Why would that break your immersion?
Because I don't know anything
These
about them.
people have lives outside of the cutscenes, man. That's
I didn't
totally
get to
immersive.
know them. It's just other characters telling me they're important.
And the reason I'm not for
the final
Dovis also,
battle?
yeah.
No, that's dumb. I don't want that. At least the Mountain Dew thing I can laugh at.
The Mountain Dew thing is less immersion breaking to you than the Dovis problem.
That is also literally immersion breaking. But
Yes.
the other one is story breaking stupid.
Non-literally.
But I would be wondering if Dovis. I would be assuming Dovis is more important. Like we're laughing because we know there's nothing else.
That's
but as
the
a
thing.
player,
Dovis
I
cannot be important.
I don't know.
Dovis is not.
Yeah, Dovis
see,
is trivial. That's the whole point of the thing.
Yes.
But I don't know that as a player.
You
so
do
if Dovis
indeed.
dies,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh, like they're all really affected by that. Okay, there's a cutscene coming that'll explain Dovis.
No,
and it's
early
not
on-
really until the
no,
end of the
it's
game
not
that
go-
I'm gonna know.
No, like you meet Dovis like as just a regular NPC who just says like, the weapons shop is up the hill.
Yeah.
And it says like Dovis above that, right?
Right.
Like it is that quality person, Jones.
I would want it to be such that like they talk about Dovis and worry about Dovis so much that like 90% of the people playing the game are embarrassed. Like they think they missed a cutscene or something, and they're too embarrassed to talk about it with their friends because they don't want people to
Because the
think
number
that
one search on top
they
is like,
missed it.
who was Dovis
Yeah.
on GameFAQs? And it's like
everyone's
a whole
ashamed.
thread of people. Like, was there a quest I missed?
I'm so sad when Dovis died.
Yeah, other people play into it.
YouTube reactions.
I guess we got to pick Dovis at this point.
I guess.
They're both so good.
They're both really
These
good.
are both so good.
I am firmly in the Mountain Dew camp, but Dovis is also pretty funny. I just
Ian?
think I think Dovis can be turned into good, and I know it's easy to laugh at Mountain
Yeah.
Dew, but
Okay.
imagine your favorite game had Mountain Dew.
To me, like
There's
I mean,
some, Brandon, that I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, there's some RPGs I wouldn't put this past either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, Dovis thing is just like an example of really bad writing, whereas to me, Mountain Dew, it's like Link wearing a Nintendo Switch t-shirt, where it's just like, this is destroying the reality of this game. So for me, that's worse, I guess.
All right, so we're 50-50 right now. We need to pick one or else we walk out of the store and probably Cahrsurraurher is going to buy both.
But we're
you don't have a
trying to
vote?
pick the thing that we think is worse, right?
yes, most
Okay.
vile. We're trying to think of the thing that's most vile.
I guess the one thing I can say against Mountain Dew is like there is kind of a, like imagine you get it. Was it Red Storm? Is that the one? What's the red Mountain Dew?
It's
Red
Code
Storm?
Red.
Red.
man.
Code Red, yeah.
Code Red.
Yeah.
So you get a Code Red and you like type in the code
Gamer
and it's like a
fuel.
red version. And like I would be oddly excited about that. Like there is a part of me that's like
So be it. All
that
right.
is strangely stupid. It's fun.
Zotvin, dude, we're buying your thing about the cutscene where everybody's sad about Dovis dying. Thank you for.
Really got to play that up. That you say 5 minutes and like I'm not sure 5 minutes is gonna cut it.
Okay,
Like,
they'll have to play it up.
yeah.
Ian, we have added stakes now. We're going to actually host a game. What are they called?
Jams.
Jam.
Game jam on Itch.io.
Oh my God, yes.
It's going to be a month long, and people can choose whether they want to make Cahrsurraurher's game or
They're going to go
Lenny's game.
nuts with
I am
Dovis, man.
thrilled.
They're
about
going
it.
to go
like-
nuts with Dovis.
Like,
my
like
God.
I want there to be some sort of talisman or ritual that like the elf in our camp or some like other race in our camp has some sacred funeral that they can only write that they can only perform once in their lifetime, and they perform that for Dovis. And you're like that as a
my
player,
God.
then I would be like, what the hell is going on?
Bury their sword. Yes.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Dovis, Troy Baker. Like,
I'm
what
thinking
did I
of
miss?
I'm thinking of the Mortal Kombat crypt,
Yeah.
and you just spend 15,000 coins, and you get like Dovis's headband, and you can't even use it.
or you spend like 45 real world dollars to resurrect Dovis, and all he says is the weapon shop is up the road. He just puts him back.
That's genius.
You hack the game to bring him back. That's all he says. Yeah.
Jones, if you would, now is corrections time. You cannot, in fact, boil a frog by slowly increasing the heat of a frog in water. What the hell? Wikipedia calls that a fable.
Oh,
Isn't that funny? Like, it's not even like a long fable, but like apparently we can have modern day fables, and that is one.
neat.
Yeah.
Never mind.
You know that article where what was it? It was like, video game podcast becomes 2 hours of inside jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy,
Honestly, I thought boiling the frog was a widely accepted phrase. In fact, I'm still gonna. I mean,
It's a widely accepted fable now.
It's a fable. Neo Geo cards were huge. They were not small. Like, I was thinking of the TurboGrafx cards.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Neo Geo cards are just big chunk lords. I was dismissive of Paragon's player base. I feel bad about that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like barren Paragon. That game was canceled just because of the wild success of Fortnite. It wasn't like it wasn't doing okay on its own, so I feel bad about that. My bad. 3DO didn't have those Zelda games. 3DO had the creepy, 3DO had the creepy tall Yoshi games.
Right.
Yeah.
what?
I was.
What had the Zelda game?
CDI.
CDI had the Zelda games.
And who
3DO.
sent you that correction?
Okay, so Ceaseless Discharge was the brother of a council of witch sisters before Dark Souls 1 World fell to ruin. The witches tried a risky spell and failed, turning almost everybody in their matriarchy into demons, e.g. Quelaag and Bed of Chaos. So the brother Ceaseless Discharge guards a gravesite of one of the sisters when you meet him, only turning hostile when you grave rob it. He is a sad boy.
What is this a correction of?
Yeah, who didn't know that?
We talked about like what his level of aliveness was of Ceaseless Discharge. Is it just like a bunch of lava that thinks? Like where does that come from? And now
Dude, the whole like Quelaag's sister, like everything, it's very tragic.
yeah.
Their whole story. Bed of Chaos is like the matriarch of the whole thing. It's nuts. It's sad.
Surprisingly tragic for Souls.
And corrections music. Sorry, one last question. Do you have to grave rob? Do you have to fight Ceaseless Discharge?
No.
You could leave him
get
alone.
the gold hemmed armor, and it's really, really good. It's like one of the better light armors for the majority of the game.
So it's a selfish kill.
Kinda. You can cheese him real easily.
Okay. All right. Oh, hey, we have an update. We talked a lot about Mortal Kombat 11 last week. Hubert was very optimistic about the changes that were coming, and I guess they're not too bad. So here's what they did. One thing is a free gift. You get 500,000 coins, 1,000 soul gems, 500 hearts. But also, generally, rewards improved for the Towers of Time, for online matches, things in the crypt. And so, like, to tell if this was, like, good or not, I went to the subreddit for Mortal Kombat, and the subreddit seems pleased. They seem like, yeah, these are good changes.
Just an important thing to point out. You also get a lot more hearts for doing things. So you get, instead of getting 1 heart per fatality, you get 3. I believe you get 5 for brutalities. And so you just get more hearts in general.
And Hearts for Mercies now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think you might have gotten Hearts for Mercies before. I'm not sure. But yeah, more hearts is good. That was a big thing that they needed to address, and they did it.
Yeah. So I can't say like our conversation is like voided now of last week, right? Like it's still like a crazy like optimized way of keeping people engaged and things like that. But they did put in a real effort anyway to try to make it more fun, less intimidating. We'll see. I'll keep checking that subreddit for you, everybody. Ian, you've been gone for a while.
Hey.
Do you remember my favorite way to start a podcast?
Like a bunch, like I think it was like being buried up to your shoulders in sand. Was that it?
That's my favorite vacation, baby.
Oh, right. Okay, I got it.
My favorite way to start a podcast is a game announcement. And oh boy, do we have one this week. Madden NFL 20. Guess who the cover athlete is for this year's Madden game?
Derek Jeter.
Patrick Mahomes,
Oh,
baby.
no. That makes
Best
you
in the
happy.
biz. Gets his due 1 year after becoming a starter. Woo. What a cover. We also had another game announced called Persona 5 Scramble, The Phantom Strikers. So previously, we had read of a game called Persona 5S. I assumed, many others did, I guess, that that's just the Switch version of Persona 5. Not so. This is a Musou game. It's a collaboration with Atlas and Koei Tecmo, and it is what's the name of that team?
Omega Force.
Omega Force.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. It's one of those games where you are fighting hundreds of people, and the trailer just showed Joker just fighting hundreds of things in a demon realm. Is that correct, Ben?
Is that correct? I mean, we saw very little of the game.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been up and down about this. My initial response was, oh man, out of like all the ways that you could do a spin-off, doing a Musou game is not the most original. And so I was a little bit disappointed at first, but I thought about it some more, and I really like Musou games, and I think Omega Force has been going in interesting directions. I like Dragon Quest Heroes. I really like Fire Emblem Warriors. I like Cahrsurraurher. I don't think these are like outstanding games, but they're games with ideas that try to be true to their series. And depending on the direction that they take it, I think it could be really cool. Like even in the trailer, you can see that when he's attacking, you see like the weaknesses thing pop up. So you might have to pay a little bit more attention than you normally do to what type of attacks that you're using to try to get them weak. Maybe that'll prompt an all-out attack. Maybe you have to switch personas out, things like that. And so it could be really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the games have a lot of characters, but I guess honestly, like being able to switch personas on the fly would actually change the game a lot.
Yeah,
From
absolutely.
other Warriors type games. I
Yeah,
guess.
it should be mentioned that only, as far as we know, Royal's coming, so maybe things will change, but only the protagonist can switch between different personas. Everybody else just has...
That's what makes him special.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes, so everybody
Yep,
else
yep,
just
yep.
has the one. But I think what's cool about these games, and you see it in something like Hyrule Warriors, is sometimes they just have a stupid amount of playable characters, and people who wouldn't normally get that attention, they get a chance in a Muso game, and so you might get somebody unexpected. Like, I don't know, Sojiro would be really funny. Maybe he attacks people with coffee. I don't know. It could be wild.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not much details. We know it's coming out next year for the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So the Switch is getting a Persona 5 game.
Yeah. So Kyle, I was thinking about this. I want to bounce this
Yeah.
off you.
Let's bounce, baby.
Again, my initial response was, okay, the only people that are going to play this are the people that are like already in, that already want to see these characters or like Persona and like Muso games. Like, it's a very small audience. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, Persona 5 is a 100-hour RPG. Maybe there are people who just have a Switch that want to play something lighthearted. Maybe this will be a good gateway for them into the world. Maybe a lot of people, this will be kind of their introduction. And I was looking at how long to beat, and Hyrule Warriors is not that long if you just run through the main story, and Fire Emblem Warriors not that long. So maybe it will be a better introduction than I was initially willing to give it credit for.
Sure. Damiani, interest level in Persona 5S.
Not. I feel like I might need to see more. It's kind of dwindled as each of these I've played. I mean, it was probably the highest for Hyrule Warriors, and it's gone down with each successive one that
Did you
I've
play the
tried out.
Gundam one?
No, I didn't play that one. Why? Was that like
I
really
played
exciting?
that one.
Yeah, no, it gets boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you guys are not disproving it. Okay,
yeah.
And yeah, I feel like of the ones I've played, Persona's probably, I mean, even though I played through the games, probably the one I'm least invested in. So that also is kind of like a personal bias going against it as well.
Sure.
I'm also a small bit bummed out that it's not any kind of traditional version of Persona 5, even if it was just like the vanilla version of it coming to Switch versus, the Royal version.
I've been saying for 2 years straight that Persona 5 is obviously coming to Switch, and now I have to rethink that stance for the first time.
Yeah, it's interesting that that's not happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe Ben is right. Maybe this is an alternative that will get more people. Like, it is a gateway. They'll get people interested in Persona series in general, or just Persona 5. They'll go play it, and they'll do like a deep dive into the series. But I also agree with you, Ben. Like, of all the kind of variations they could have done another Muso spinoff,
Right.
it's just like, this seems to be like the par for the course of every major series. You want to do a crazy spinoff? Muso game. Here you go. Omega Force and Team Ninja, go have at it. Sorry, Tecmo Koei. It's like, can you do anything else? Like, heck, I would have even been like a Persona card game would have been more surprising than like a Muso game at this point.
Yeah, I wonder if part of it is just because they have spun off quite a bit already. I mean, you have a fighting game, you have a dancing game, and presumably they're working on another fighting game. Arc System Works is working on another fighting game.
Is that safe to presume?
Well, there's rumors
Cool, I
going
didn't know
on.
that. That's
There's
cool.
rumors going on that Arc System Works is working on it, but they got delayed due to the Grand Blue fighting game and for post-release content for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that it uses the Dragon Ball FighterZ engine. These are all rumors. Don't take this at face value.
Tasty
but
rumors, though.
Yeah. Let's say it's true, right? You've got all these different ways. You have the dancing game, you have the dungeon crawler, and so I guess on some, like, where else do you spin off to? I don't know. But something that I like about the fighting games like Arena and Ultimax is they really go for it with their stories. It's not just a rehashing of what you've seen before. They take these characters and they show them after the fact, and they dig into it. But then if you do that, I guess on some level it kind of makes it harder for new people to go into. So I don't know. You're not going to please everybody.
Sure.
You think about a Persona kart racer.
Those kids aren't old enough to drive.
Okay. Go-karts.
Their personas
Go-karts.
Their personas
Ah,
are,
thank you,
yes.
man. You saved it.
They're in the passenger seat.
You're just in the passenger seat while we're being driven around.
There you go.
Oh, that's good.
No, you're 16 when you drive. They're all 16, right?
Yeah.
The
Well,
Persona kids?
I guess I can't say they're all 16, but
Okay. Most of them could drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And hey, babies are driving carts these days.
it's true.
Damiani, I'm in. Not too much to say about it because it was a brief and the trailer just showed basically what you would expect to see. It was not a surprising trailer after you've accepted the concept.
I think, Kyle, you saying that made me realize that if they're going to do a Muso game, they should have shown more. Like, them just saying, like, hey, we're doing a Muso game. Like, I just don't think that on its face is as exciting as it could be.
Yeah.
And so if they I don't know, either waited a little bit longer or just had more to show and being like, okay, we're doing a Muso game, but this is it. This is our own thing. I think that would have gone a lot further for a lot of people.
It's funny. There's a moment in the trailer. Obviously, it's the end. It says for PlayStation 4, sustains that, and then hits on and Nintendo Switch, as if that is like the announcement. That's the impact we're supposed to feel there. I wonder if that's felt. Jones, before we move on, I want to know your dream game where you are one character murdering hundreds. You know what I mean? Doing cool moves and slaying hundreds of
Well, you're not
enemies.
one character. You're one of 30 or something, right? Like, what's the max characters they cram into these games?
Some of them have 1 million troops.
1 million troops. But what's no? But how many protagonists? Like in
They
Hyrule
could
Warrior when
have
they got to the end of
lots.
that, how many? Like 30, 40?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
like,
but there's not 30 on the field at a time, Jones.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but
It's
it's
a
still a
select
roster I care about.
Yes.
And actually, have an opinion about this, but I was like, I don't even know if I need to enter this conversation.
Ooh,
but
I want your opinion. Bring
No,
it
just
on,
that
dude.
I also love the Muso genre. Like, I think it was PS2 that Dynasty Warriors came out on, right? Was the first Dynasty Warriors?
PS1 was
I skipped that. I think it was
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 on PS2 that I checked out. And I remember having a friend being like, "This game, you got to see this genre. This game is crazy. You're just this huge battlefield." And GTA 3 just came out, so I was really getting into open world games. And I'm like, I love this concept, and I just never had a reason to go back to it. And all the franchises that they've done, I'm like, these are not my franchises. I recognize them and I appreciate them, but they're just not my. Like a Final Fantasy Muso, day one, I would buy that.
I'm
and
amazed
play
it
every
hasn't
minute.
happened
Ooh, that's
yet.
a good
Yeah.
one. Great pick, Jones.
it'd be
I'm with
over.
you, Jones.
Yeah.
That
would be way more fun than
DC one
Dissidia,
or something.
right?
I'd be
That'd
like,
be
oh,
sick.
I'm all over it. So whenever I hear a Muso, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not going to play that only because I'm just not invested in that series.
Sure.
But anything fitting that model, it's like, oh, I could easily have 30 minutes of fun with every single character they have. Just to be like, oh, what's this move? Oh, that's cool. And
Brandon.
there's a spectacle to them that's neat.
Can I tell you what I was hoping you were gonna say?
Sure.
I was hoping that Brandon would star in the game and he would slay anime fans. That's what I was hoping for.
They got the tickets and they're running up to the convention. I'm just like,
Jones versus anime fans?
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jones versus
I have a
anime
lot
fans.
of wind attacks, so I'm pushing them
Okay.
away from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
anime.
yeah. I don't want you killing
they're
the anime
scrambling
fans.
with their hands, and I'm like,
So
Keep them at a distance.
this
It's not right.
a
Jones.
little bit of a correction and a clarification. So Dynasty Warriors originally came out on PS1, but in North America it was a one-on-one fighting game, and then Dynasty Warriors 2, which came out on PS2, is what we know as traditional MOBA, or not MOBA, Muso, not MOBA. Yeah.
Delete your comments. Ben got you.
No, I knew that, but I just wanted to get it.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
We have to talk about VR for a sec because Valve has announced their VR headset officially. This thing is pricey.
yeah.
This is Are you excited about this?
Oh, I just know it's pricey.
Okay.
But I am, yeah. I'm excited about. There's something I don't know odd that excites me about that price. About them, company that has not done this yet, entering the market and saying, "This is how much this thing costs." This is just basically our goal, our benchmark for quality in terms of what we expect Valve to do in the VR space.
So you're properly prepared at home. I'm going to break this down for you. The headset, just the headset, if you want to buy that alone, that is $500 US. The controllers, by the way, it's called the Valve Index. What a name. Index means a lot of things. So saying Valve Index is I don't think VR means it. Anyway, the controllers themselves are $280 US for two. You get two of those. The base station is $150 US, and those are basically the things you put on your ceiling to read where you are in 3D space. You can get the headset and controllers together for $750 US, presumably using your base station from the Vive headset you already have, or you can buy the whole big Shamola headset, controllers, 2 base stations for $1,000 US.
Isn't
Premium.
that basically the pricing model of the Vive?
I believe that is more expensive than the Vive.
Oh yeah, Vive's in the 600 range. I
Also,
think. Don't quote me on that.
confused? I thought the Vive was like the official Steam.
That's what is super confusing. Is that was an official partnership with HTC.
Okay, and
But
now
Valve
they're just cannibalizing it.
Yeah. This is Valve saying this is our own.
Weird.
Vive, it's been nice. HTC, thank you for your time, but now we have our own headset now. Thank you.
Huh.
Yeah.
And didn't Oculus announce a new model today as well?
So I kind of want to dip into that for a second.
Yeah, like
if we want to do that immediately, let's do it.
Yeah, sorry. That's the only. Like, I just saw that. I was like, are they just countering him right away?
Yeah, it's
So
good.
kinda- yeah.
So this was actually a love and respect question that I'm just going to inject right here because it's extremely related to our discussion. Good evening, allies. Today, Facebook announced during their F8 conference the release date for the Oculus Quest, their all-new, all-in-one gaming system, as May the 21st, which is very soon. With the Oculus Quest being more like a game console than an accessory, I'm curious your thoughts on it. Do you think people will buy into a console that only does VR? Do you think 3 weeks is too short of a runway to get people aware of the release? Will any of the allies be buying one? Love and respect, Matt. P.S. Tell Jones that Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series, will be coming exclusively to Quest and Rift.
To Rift as well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jones is covered. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
So here's the price of that thing. That's $400 US for the 64 gigabyte version, $500 for the 128 gigabyte version. So yeah, I mean, you're just downloading games directly to your
it's all in
Quest.
one.
That is much cheaper than even just the headset of the Index.
That seems like I don't know if this is right, but it sounds like a good idea because all these other ones have been accessories that you need another system to play on, either a PC or a console. Whereas an all-in-one, you just just turn it on, download the stuff, you go.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry. Like, I just remember times we tried to use the Vive with like Steam, and it'd be like configuration stuff and like all the setup, and sometimes it just have an error or something, and then all the hassle that came with that. It seems smart that someone finally just decided to do an all-in-one thing like this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gonna matter what games are on it and stuff. Like, that's what it always comes down to. But you said that exclusive Star Wars one, so
Hey, man.
I think it's a harder proposition now than it was months ago, just because we just had that big drop about the PlayStation 5, and I'd like new model of the Switch coming out, new PlayStation, new Xbox, and I want all of those things quite a lot, and so an expensive VR headset, like, I'm not going to put that above those new systems.
Sure. And Jones, you were excited about this $1,000 proposition. Do you see yourself buying an Index or a Quest?
Yeah, if I was to invest in VR, it would be to get the best thing on the market, and also Vive has a brand new headset that I haven't used. I haven't tried it out.
Apparently, though,
so-
Index will be the best VR headset, the best controllers,
It's-
right? So
yeah,
it is, if you want to have the best VR experience, you're right. That is the Index.
do we
Yeah.
know what makes it better? Like,
Nah,
I got a little
man.
behind on that.
Like
They
I
said so.
they
Okay,
said
they
so.
said so. Oh, I mean, spec wise,
And
like
the people
what,
who are
yeah.
excited about it say
Yeah.
so too. And to me, it's just like, you know what? I'll take your word for it. Comment section.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll have it.
I'm curious because, and this is a moot point, but the Vive and the Oculus felt very different. They're very differently constructed devices, and so it's gonna be interesting to see the comfort level, of the Index. I'm gonna have to check out both of these things like in person at like a CES or an E3 or something before you make that call.
One tiny detail
There's no way to visually sell VR. Like, you have to experience it.
One thing I do want to add to the Index, because as Damiani just said, games are most important than anything. Valve has said we will be making a game for VR in this year, in 2019.
Half-Life 3.
It won't be at launch.
Kyle, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there was a time when that would have been like scream from the rooftops exciting.
Yes.
And now I'm just like, okay, I'll check it out when you announce it. Like,
Okay,
that's where
sure.
Valve is for me right now.
Sure.
Did I say June 28th for the Index? That's the release date. I don't think I established that.
That doesn't sound like you did.
So Artifact is their most recently published game, right? Like, it is. They've lost some credentials, right? Like
To be clear,
credibility. I mean,
I played Artifact, I streamed Artifact, and I think the ideas in Artifact are really cool. They just weren't able to grab a user base and keep a user base around, and so it just kind of seems like something that is a little bit dead as a result of that. It needs an audience. But Valve is just a weird beast now. Like, I don't even know how to feel like the golden age of like your Portals and your Left 4 Deads, your Team Fortresses, and all that stuff. It feels like a lifetime ago.
What if I told you they were quietly rehiring former Portal writers? You know, people who were on Half-Life teams over the past year. Do you think they're working on VR games?
It's just something, Kyle. It's like you need fuel, right?
Yeah.
And it's been empty. The tank for Valve has been empty for a long time, and so like all of these things could be amazing. We could flash forward to when this announcement happens, and I could be on this podcast saying like, "Oh my God, I can't believe how good this looks." But I don't think I'll be there until I see it. Like I just can't.
I have a kind of a weird question, like not really a bad faith kind of thing, but like, do you think it would be weird of Valve to put all their best talent and stuff into a VR exclusive game where it's like, hey, we're clearly only doing this because we want to sell this VR headset, you know, instead of doing it because they're passionate and making a game that more people could access?
Well, they did it. They did it with Steam, and they did it with Half-Life 2, where it was. I remember buying that disc and like installing Steam and playing Counter-Strike on it, and so it wouldn't surprise me, I guess, if that was their approach.
Yeah. Huh.
It's an interesting question, Ian, because like I don't fault anyone for accepting an exclusivity deal, right?
Right.
Making games is expensive, so if you have somebody who will fund your game, then yes, I don't think you are sacrificing your artistry too much by saying like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're exclusive to this platform. Valve, however, owns Valve, right? I have to believe you could just go to Gabe and say, please give me $300 million to make Half-Life 3. It's not going to be VR exclusive, and it could happen in a way. And so your question is like, is it compromising their artistry to make it VR exclusive? And it like kind of is, unless they truly believe in VR.
I think they do. I
think
mean,
so?
yeah. I mean, if you track, like they've really been out in front of this in a long way for a long time, and
That's
they're
true.
still
That's true.
doing developments within this space. Like I don't think it's outlandish to say that they're extremely picky with what they make, and that they've been around this technology long enough where they think they can do it. Like, I don't know. That feels contradictory with what I was just saying about Valve, but I do think Valve has shown at least that they believe in VR, and them wanting to make a VR game. Like if you just track about how this thing has been going for the last couple of years, that makes a lot of sense to me.
How do we feel if that VR game coming out this year, 2019, fall 2019, exclusive to Valve Index, Portal 3? How do we feel about that?
I think any game that's in their catalog, I would have to be able to tell from the trailer that they clearly wanted to make that game in VR and not they needed to make a game for their VR system to sell it.
Right.
Where it's like, whoa, okay, look what they're doing. Like the Portal ad would be hilarious because it could be just all about VR. It could be like the little computer systems, like explaining how VR works and what it is.
Yeah,
and,
they made a demo
and then
for
have
VR
some
that was
big
Portal.
crazy,
Yeah.
like a
They did?
reveal or something that. Yeah, you like build the machines.
Portal seems like the last thing on the planet I would want to play in VR. Because, like, think about how much, like, jumping and whipping around you do in that. Like, oh, my God.
You're right. You have to make
sickness.
some compromises for sure.
You'd be nauseous instantly.
Yeah.
I think people would be very upset, and it would make sense that they're upset. But also at some point, somebody's got to do that, right? Like if you're Valve and you're investing in VR and you're making this new platform, you got to take the plunge, and you gotta say, nope, you can only get this here. I get that on some level.
That's what's really interesting.
Everybody does this, right? If Sega were to come out with the Dreamcast 2 tomorrow, they'd be like, hey, you can only get this here. Like,
Yeah.
that's the rules we've been playing by from the beginning.
I guess what makes it complicated, Ben, is they have the platform that, hundreds of millions of people are on.
Right.
Steam. They have that, and they would be saying to 99% of those people, you cannot play our game.
But then it makes the VR less enticing if they just give it to everybody.
Yeah.
But
Right.
on the flip side, like, can you imagine the fallout if Half-Life 3 was the game and that it was only on the Index? People would go thermonuclear because it's this game that they've been waiting for decades.
Yeah, but I don't.
or whatever.
I mean, you never know. I don't think it's going to be Half-Life 3 though.
I
Right.
don't think so either.
I think Valve is in a position where they could make something brand new, something that doesn't have that legacy tied to it.
I
but
would love something brand
but
new.
still has Valve attached to it.
Yes.
And that would that would work.
I think that's the correct.
Yeah,
I think so
that'd be
too.
my best
Yeah.
guess of what they
Yeah.
do. I think they're too smart to use one of their existing things that would anger people.
Right, even
Yeah.
if it's like Portal, Peabody, and Atlas. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Come on.
If they made it Half-Life 3, people
Yeah.
are going to die. Like the world is going to burn somewhere, and that scares me.
One
That's not
level,
okay.
I mean, to
It's not
piggyback
okay.
on what you said earlier, Ben, where you're just like, I'm kind of desensitized to Valve announcements. Like, even if I saw a kick-ass Half-Life 3 trailer, I would be extremely skeptical. Again, because I think the thought that would be in my mind the whole time is that, like, you're only doing this because you're desperate to sell this machine. They're like, you're not doing this because this was the best way to continue it. You know,
Fair. Do we
Half-Life 3
believe-
hasn't been in production this whole time, and you're just wondering what format to do it. You waited and waited and waited and waited, and then now have this tech, and then now we're doing it. And so, as a fan, as someone who desperately wanted Half-Life 3, it's like, am I interested after all this time? I don't know. The cast is probably not going to be the same.
I don't think it's going to be Half-Life 3.
They'd be
Or even
the same.
Portal or something, something that they're like, haha, look at that. Like, we do have the, Team Fortress 3 or so, like, I'd be like, I don't know. It seems done for the wrong reasons.
Do we believe their 2019 game will come out in 2019?
I
They're stealthy, man. Who knows?
don't know.
Sure. They are
Hard to
stealthy.
tell what they've been up to.
in beta.
Beta 2019. I accept it. Ian, it's great to have you here. I'm really excited you're here because we're playing the gaming game.
Oh.
The gaming game is where Ian is having a hard time picking a game to play. A bunch of games were released recently, and so you will be interviewing each of those games, asking them questions, and ultimately you will choose one of the games. These games will be represented by our panelists. They have not yet seen the games that they will be representing, so please open your envelopes, panel. And Ian, go ahead, ask any questions you want.
Okay. Are we doing 1, 2, 3? Brandon, Ben, Damiani?
I would use their names for listeners.
Sure. Good call. Brandon, how important is fashion to you?
Very important.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Ben, I am lactose intolerant. How cheesy would you say you are?
Where we're going, there isn't any room for cheese.
Okay.
Wow.
The audience is like, woo!
Damiani, would you consider yourself sexy or cute?
Sexy.
Okay.
That was the only
pause.
That was the only response after the pause. That's so good.
Like, there's nothing he can do about
Right.
it,
Sexy.
This is his burden to carry.
Brandon,
Yes.
sometimes I like to take things slow, in a relationship. What would you say, how long is your run time? How long to beat?
To beat, average, but there's a lot to do.
Okay.
There's a lot to me.
Complicated. Okay. Ben, experience is important to me. Do you have a leveling system?
There is player progression.
Man, I have no idea. Damiani, I love fun parents. Do you have interesting creators?
They're pretty I'd say they're very odd.
Oh.
Very odd. I feel like Ian has at this point no idea what any of
no
these
idea.
games are, so
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
have to elaborate a little more on your answers.
okay.
Okay, Brandon,
Yes.
I like a relationship to be challenging, but sometimes you just want to Netflix and chill.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a difficulty slider?
I have ways to make things really chill.
I'm creeped out. I'm so creeped out.
That answer confused me most of all.
Please confirm you're not referring to like some date pill.
Really chill. Oh, come on.
That is what that sounds like. I like, girl, let's get really chill. It's like, what?
That was not my read.
Okay, that was my read, man. Listeners, you did not see the smile I saw.
Ben, can you see us still spending time together in 1 year?
Absolutely not.
Damiani, can you cook?
Oof. I don't know if you'd like the ingredients though.
Ooh.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Are you made by
So much
platinum?
mystery.
I'm sorry.
Nothing. Not an official question. Brandon, are you into holding hands in public?
Mm-hmm. I have really close friends.
Okay. Ben, I think that it's important in a relationship to solve problems through communication and not fighting. Do you have a lot of fighting in your game?
Yes, because what is left can't communicate all that well, and so really it's the only option.
Okay. Damiani, what would you buy me on our 3-month anniversary?
How do you feel about like fashion add-ons and extra items that come through come in small amounts?
What?
Extra items that come in small amounts. Brilliant rephrasing. Okay. Okay.
I feel pretty good
All
about
right.
it.
One last round.
Okay. I guess I would ask. I guess I would ask that same question to you, Brandon. What would you buy me on our 3-month anniversary?
Something cozy. Something you can snuggle up next to.
Ian, please ask me that question.
Okay, Ben, same question.
A shotgun.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it.
Oh, okay.
Ian, you must now select the game that you want to play. But first, let the first game down, and then guess who you think that game is.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I don't want to play Ben or Damiani's games.
Okay.
Good.
So who do you think Ben is?
I think Ben. I think he's. Are these all upcoming games, or are they?
These are all recent released games within the last month.
Oh, okay. Geez. Then I thought it was a different thing that was older. I'm not sure.
Ben, reveal who you are.
I am Days Gone.
Oh, of course. Yeah. That fits. Damiani, are you Metal Gear or not Metal Gear? Mortal Kombat 11?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Long.
Well, I was gonna say Trip to Evo. I was like, that's gonna give it away.
That'd
so,
be- yeah. And then Jones, I want to play Jones's. Are you Dreams?
No.
What are you?
Yoshi's Crafted World.
Okay. Yep. Now everything makes sense.
Congratulations, Ian. You get to play Yoshi's Crafted World now.
Of those three, I would take it.
Cool. Do you all hear that? Sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of April. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. El Thanis. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Or at least, that Good Business Lawyer's YouTube and podcast series, Virtual Legality. This week in Virtual Legality, Hogue discusses the potential for legal trouble as BioWare ditches their Anthem roadmap, thoughts on the biggest box office success that ever was in Avengers Endgame, and, of course, more Game of Thrones. Check it all out at youtube.com/HOEG Law or on your favorite podcast service. Our gifted sponsor this month is the Able Gamers Foundation, a nonprofit charity that aims to improve the overall quality of life for those with disabilities through the power of video games, creating opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. The link to donate is in the description. Fangamer, makers of officially licensed merchandise for games like Dark Souls, Hollow Knight, Undertale, Katamari Damacy, and Persona 5, not to mention Easy Allies t-shirts. Their newest products include the Hollow Knight Collector's Edition for Switch, PS4, and PC, a Prince and Katamari Magnetic Plush, and a Metaton EX posable figurine from Undertale. Check out their store at fangamer.com. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EZA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. Y2 Kyle 89 would like to say goodbye for now, and he'll see you out there, allies. And our mega sponsor, River Horse. Come learn how to kickstart your career in the high-tech world. River Horse can teach you the ways of the ServiceNow platform. ServiceNow was named the world's most innovative company of 2018 by Forbes. With over 4,000 customers across all industries, their Now platform has become the way to make work better. The Now platform introduces a wealth of job opportunities. If you're just coming out of school and are looking to advance in your career, there are many official ServiceNow courses that can help you jumpstart your options. With River Horse, you will learn to master ServiceNow capabilities through hands-on, real-world instruction. As an authorized training partner, their education advisors are able to teach over 12 official classes. They offer both public and private classes to suit your needs. Join them at Knowledge 19 in Vegas from May 5th to the 9th, the industry's biggest conference of the year. River Horse will be teaching in the pre-conference training and hosting several events throughout the week. Reach out to them on Twitter or email to join them and get some free swag. They are proud to support the Easy Allies and look forward to supporting all allies that work in the IT industry. Train to transform. Look them up at river-horse.com. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Also, thank you, podcast producers, coming at the end of this very podcast.
Also, thank you, River Horse. I believe this is River Horse's last podcast. So
Thank you, River Horse.
thank you for the support. 2 months.
Thank you, Jones, for doing all the reads.
Aw, shucks. Thank you, Yoshi's Crafted World.
Jones, you turned into such a creep when you were trying to embody that game.
I just
That
wanted
tracks.
I just wanted to snuggle. I'm ready. I'm ready to have a good time.
No, 'cause-
especially when he brought up difficulty options, I was like, "Oh, baby, take it easy."
It wasn't that. It wasn't, oh, baby, take it easy. It was, I have ways to make things extremely chill. I was appalled, man.
Was I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Was I wrong?
You're not wrong. You were still being Yoshi. At this point last week, NPDs dropped. Usually drops like after our podcast or right in the middle. Some really interesting stuff though, so I want to get into it.
Oh no.
We saw the. We're not going to play the game because
Okay.
we're a little game heavy already. We saw the release of the Division 2, of Sekiro, of MLB The Show, of the Yoshi's Crafted World, and not all 5 of those games made it into the top 5.
Just tell me Sekiro sold 1 billion copies.
Close to 1 billion.
Great.
It is what? It was the best launch for a FromSoft game. There was that at least.
All right.
No way.
It's something. It's something. Hey, it's something. Which is actually, honestly, surprising to me because I would think that it would be Dark Souls 3. Honestly, Bloodborne would be hard to beat, but Activision somehow promoted a whole new IP like Sekiro.
I feel like I saw a ton of ads for Sekiro.
Yeah, there were a lot.
They
of
must
ads.
have.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's the Activision bonus. That is why you sign on to them as FromSoft. And you know what I mean? Like a year ago, we're like, why Activision? Why? You know what I mean? It's like, that's why.
I also wonder how much something like the difficulty conversation helps or hurts.
Oh my goodness.
Helps, you think?
It's just what everyone's talking about.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
so whether that's good or bad, or whether that excites you, you know, you start off on the right foot with the game or not, you're still hearing about people talking about it.
True.
And I think helps also good for a game with a weird name. You know, I love going back to the announcement. We're like, Sekiro, cool. You know, it's like, so I think it just helps to like repeat, get it in the public consciousness. I don't think From Software or Activision like got scared about that debate at all. They were like, oh yes, keep fighting, keep talking about it.
Number 1, however, is Tom Clancy's The Division 2. You can't bet against Tom Clancy. You can't bet against Ubisoft.
You can't bet against loot.
Yeah, you can't bet against loot. It's just gonna happen. But I mean, that's cool. You know, we talked about how this genre is gonna have a hard time, but like we're still like Division 2 is gonna be fine though, and it totally is, right?
It's kind of like everybody was like, oh man, I'm so sick of superhero movies, and then the entire world just goes see superhero movies. Like
Right.
yeah.
It is 100% like that. Hey, Division 2, rocket. Number 2 is Sekiro, which is great. Number 3, MLB 19, The Show. What? Apparently, that it's best launch
Still selling.
for the
Baseball
show.
season.
Every time you say the show, I
Really?
just think of that
Yeah.
gross glitch that is awful.
Yeah, the Huber glitch.
The Huber glitch. Yeah.
I guess I thought baseball popularity was waning. I thought people were getting less interested in baseball.
Okay, this sounds dumb, but
Yeah.
I mean it. Has baseball popularity ever waned?
Yes.
But to what degree?
It used to be America's pastime. It used to
Okay.
be that. We
Okay.
all used in this country
Yeah.
all used to love baseball, baby.
Did you ever love baseball?
No,
Are
because
you
I'm
in a-
saying then there was the rise of American football, NFL, the true spirit of this country. You know what I mean? Like that.
Baseball.
I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. So.
Yeah. Baseball, I think in like viewership is number 3, beneath NBA and NFL.
Yeah, but that's still like a
makes sense.
ton.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're just talking in this country, right? And like worldwide is going to get worse because you got to throw soccer in there. But yeah, it's still a ton. It's still, hey, MLB The Show, still selling. So weird. I got to remind myself every year, this is a Sony exclusive. Sony owns a studio who puts this game out every year. Nuts.
So yeah, when the PS5 gets announced, and in that montage is a dude hitting a home run, it's like they gotta let their base know that
Yeah.
like, hey, imagine the show on PlayStation 5.
It's an easy thing to take for granted, right?
be
But
exciting.
people work really hard on it every year, and it maintains quality. It's crazy. Devil May Cry 5 was number 4, holding
Hell
strong.
right.
Yep.
Do you remember those moments where you're like, the world is not as bad as you think it is?
Those are few and far between, but yeah, I get those. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was number 5, above Red Dead Redemption, still hanging out. NBA 2K19 still hanging out. GTA 5 still hanging out.
Yeah, still
and
hanging out.
then we get to Yoshi's Crafted World at number 9.
GTA 5, like, holy shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Isn't it dip? Isn't it back up?
It's back up, baby.
Did it get out of the 10 and then we made a big deal about that it wasn't in the top 10 anymore?
Yeah, we did. We totally did.
I almost like imagine somebody
back.
being like, man, all these new games are coming out. Gotta buy GTA 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what it feels like.
I mean, like, there's the RP stuff on Twitch, which is huge right
Oh,
now.
yes,
It's
you're
been
right.
huge for a few weeks running.
right,
Yeah,
it's a good point,
I
Kyle.
wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Hey, Kyle, I forget. Are these don't include DLC microtransaction stuff? It's just like SKU sales.
Yes.
Wow.
Scoo.
SKU?
With Yoshi and Smash, I should say that Nintendo does not give digital info to the NPDs, so it's not included. And then finally, number 10 was Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which is surprising. Normally, that surprise we have about GTA 5 is also for Call of Duty throughout a year. And it's already like, hey, you're number 10, bud. Why don't you pick it up a little? And I think they had They had Alcatraz for free for a month of April or something. But okay.
I was in Best Buy picking up Move controllers because Dreams was coming out. And I'm waiting in line behind a guy, and the guy's like, do you have NFL Blitz for the PS4? And the guy in Best Buy's like, what? And he's like, NFL Blitz for the PS4. And the guy's like, I don't think NFL Blitz is on the PS4. And he's like, yeah. And he's like talking with his friend. He's like texting to his friend. And he's like, nah, he says it's not on there. And he's like, let me check the database. He's like, yeah, I just got Madden on that. And he's like, you sure? And he's like, okay. And the guy's like taking a long time. And eventually another customer service guy like kind of stepped forward. And he's like, I'll take you over here. And I'm like, okay. And like right before I left, I like buy the thing. And I'm walking away because he's got a game. And I'm like, what is he going to get? And the guy's like, oh, well, I'll just get this. Grand Theft Auto 5.
All of those NFL Blitz
I
sales
gotta walk out of this Best
are
Buy
going
with something.
to GTA 5.
That
We
explains
figured it out.
When we joke about the casual audience, right?
Also
Man.
funny. I don't want to make fun of this guy, but a little bit because it's the idea of walking
It's a
into a
cute
Best Buy
story.
to ask about a game accessibility. It's like I would call ahead. I would or just order it online.
But it's to me, it seems so obvious, right? I loved NFL Blitz. I played it on my PlayStation 1. I
was
played it on
just
my
talking
N64.
to a friend about it the other day.
Yeah.
Surely there's got to be a version on PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Wow. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, video games aren't important to everyone. Like, it's not something I would ever criticize.
Off topic. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but the guy was also he's like I have it on PS3. And the guy's like, can you play PS3 games on PS4? And the Best Buy guy's like, no, you can't. He's like, you might be able to on the PS5 actually. And the guy's like, what?
Oh, no.
And he's like, no, it's rumors right now about the PlayStation 5. And the
Shouldn't
guy's
have
like,
said that
is that
yet.
out yet? He's
No,
like, no. Sorry, never mind.
Guy's mind got blown.
I get that.
I
Yeah.
just want
we're
to hang out at Best Buy sometimes, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
No, you don't.
I'll skip that. We got to keep moving on. We have more business to talk about because we had two fiscal financial reports, yearly reports from Sony and Nintendo last week.
Nice.
Who do you want to start with?
Sony.
Okay, let's start with Sony because they got a lot of good
Do they
news.
do this every year?
Every year, man.
Oh, I know Nintendo does it, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
didn't
mean,
think
they're a
Sony did.
publicly traded company. They got to. Jones, this last fiscal year for the game and network division of Sony was their best year ever. On the books, baby. Making more money than ever, which is crazy. Hardware sales, a little bit down, but just network, people buying into PSN and PS Plus and all that, up, and software sales just making up, recouping that. And so they're just making bucks. The number of consoles, I want to hear a guess from you, Jones. How many PS4s have been sold into homes? People going to the store, going to Best Buy and buying
Did
them.
we say was the crazy number? Was like 140 million? Was like what we wanted them to get to? Like breaking 100 was a big deal, and they weren't there. 100 mil? I'll actually just say 100 mil.
John's so close, dude. 96.8.
Ah.
Nice. Well done. So they're at 96.8. Here's the 100 mil club. Here's the consoles who are in the 100 mil club. 2 handhelds, 2 consoles.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 is in with about 155 mil. PlayStation 1 is in with 102 mil. It's safe to assume, I think, PS5 is going to surpass PS1.
You know why that is?
What?
You can play NFL Blitz on your PlayStation 2.
Very true. Blitz the League. Wait, Blitz the League is PS3, I think.
Yeah, Blitz the League is PS3. I'm saying you can play NFL Blitz on your PS2.
What is it? But like they started numbering them, right? Like I'll get NFL Blitz 2002.
PS2 can play PS1 games.
Oh, and very true.
And your DVDs.
Nintendo DS is 152 mil, and then Game Boy, which they also loop in Color and Pocket, is at 118 mil. I'm sorry, 3 consoles. Wii. Nintendo Wii, 101 mil. So like PS4 is about to be god tier status among the gods, among the elder gods. It's just like there, and I feel like we got to stop and appreciate that from time to time.
Sure.
We're talking about like next gen, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, Sony's really behind here. It's like they destroyed it this gen. You know what I mean? Like it is an extremely successful console.
Anything you say in praise of a company like Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo gets you labeled in a certain way, but I really just think they earned it. Like they made some good ass games this generation that I personally really appreciated, and they made a lot of right calls, especially at the beginning. And so I don't know, I'm happy with this.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think like it's hard to pin down exactly, the points of success. I feel like associating themselves with what we're just talking about with GTA 5 was a killer decision. With Call of Duty, killer decision.
Destiny as well.
Yeah. I think like those things paid off because, the first few years of exclusives weren't there, right? We had Infamous Second Son, which is sick, but not that kind of like we're talking about it at Game of the Year at the end of the year. You know what I mean? So I think it took a while, but they were associated with the games that everybody loved in the meantime.
I feel like Sony, okay, obviously you're not going to keep everybody happy, but for lack of a better way to phrase it, Sony kind of kept everybody happy. I think they kept the guy happy who was going into Best Buy looking for NFL Blitz and people like us.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty huge disparity, and it's hard to do convincingly to all those sides, and I think they did a pretty nice job.
I 100% agree with that. That guy's going to have a good time with GTA 5.
He's going to love
Of course.
it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fine night.
Yeah.
One other thing that from their financial data that is getting some attention is that they actually started with it, their presentation, talking about PlayStation Now, that it has 700,000 users, and that's actually up 40% from last year. Last year had only 10 countries, now it's 19, so they added some countries. They also, over the last year, added the download option, and so now it's 40% more users, but that number is 700,000.
I saw an article with a headline along the lines of PlayStation Now is better than you remember, and so I kind of want to try it again.
Ooh, Jones tried it. Jones, have you ever downloaded? I think you've downloaded the games, right?
I did. I've since dumped them because I'm just not playing those anymore. But I do have access to them anytime.
But here's what's nuts: is they say that the gameplay time for downloaded titles is double that of streamed titles, and so it almost like defeats the purpose immediately. You know what I mean? Like, then it should be a download service. It should be Game Pass, and they're like, no. It's a streaming thing. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
It is funny. They are similar services that are treated very dissimilarly. Yeah. Hey, man, 700,000.
Yeah.
Is that a lot, Jones?
Yeah, I think more than maybe that I was expecting. Yeah.
Okay.
And fun for them to get, after Stadia and everything, for them to get like their numbers out, just to kind of be like, here's where we're at.
I think that's what that is
the
about.
Scoreboard is set.
I do think that's what that is
I mean,
about.
Move into this.
Like, how many people are aware that PlayStation Now is a thing? Probably not that many. Not millions of people.
It gets heavy advertisement in the PlayStation Store for sure. I think it's sold to you a lot there.
Yeah, but is that one of those things where you see it but you don't see it?
It is invisible to me. Yes. In fact, I can't tell if it's actually for PlayStation Plus or for PlayStation Now. I don't even know.
Your
what
eyes,
they're
your
selling
eyes
me.
just
If it's blue and it
filter.
has a little blue rectangle in there, I'm like, I'm good.
Well, and on PSN, it's so confusing because it's like I've had PlayStation Plus forever, and they're still advertising to me that I should buy PlayStation Plus on the PSN. And it's like, why am I seeing this at all? I already have it.
I hate that. Hey, man, I own these
dumb.
games.
Yeah.
Stop that. You know that. I think they just they pay attention to how their delivery is, Ian, and they're like, well, we delivered this ad to this many million people, Yeah. I think it's trash. One last thing from the fiscal report that I wanted to point out that I thought wasn't really interesting. In Q1 and Q4, digital share of software sales, 43 and 45%. We're almost at halfway point in some of those quarters. For some, it was like less. It was like even in the 20s. But I don't know why, in Q1 and Q4 it was greater than. But that's crazy to me. And so when we look at Nintendo not giving their digital sales data to the NPDs, I think we have to give them way more credit for where those games are slotted in.
Right.
Well, actually, Nintendo reports, hey, this is exactly how many games we sold. We'll get to them. But yeah, I think that's more than I expected. Half as much. I think at the end of next gen, it's going to be more than. It's going to be like 80, right?
Yeah. I don't even think it's going to necessarily take until the end of next gen.
Wow. Yeah.
Does this includes PC digital though, right?
Not for Sony. They were strictly talking
this is
Sony's
just
Q1 and
Sony.
Q4.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Totally nuts to me. But I guess you just got to pay attention more. That is the digital. That is why GameStop is bleeding, hemorrhaging.
I would say speaking industry wide, we've probably already hit that point of half or more digital.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Let us talk about Nintendo though. Nintendo had less good news. Hey, still good news. Switch is selling, baby, selling like crazy, especially in the US. It's basically on track for PS4 numbers. It's probably going to reach that 100 mil someday. It's not close yet. Here's the bummer, though, is Damiani, I think we talked about this a lot. Last year, they said we're going to sell 20 million Switches in the next fiscal year. Mm-hmm. And we're like, how? They must have a game coming. They must have a plan. There's going to be some secret game coming. If they want to sell 20 mil, here comes the next something. What was it, halfway point? I think it was the halfway point. They're like, okay, no, 17 mil.
I thought it was earlier. It was either December or January this year. They actually said,
so that'd be Q3. Q3, they said over there. Got it.
Q3 report came out. They're like, yeah, we're not hitting it.
You're right. They let the holidays happen before they readjusted.
Yeah.
And then they said 17 mil.
Mm-hmm.
They did not even hit 17 mil. They came in at 16.95. So close.
Oh my goodness.
Listener, you could have put him over the edge. You could have done that. You could have saved Reggie's job.
Saved Reggie's job.
They're there. So selling below expectations, but still selling extremely well. That's where the Switch is right now. I wanted to point out Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which sold 13.8 million copies, digitally and physically sold. Pretty nuts.
It's insane.
It has everyone in every sense of the word.
Yes. Yeah. I love that, Ben.
Yeah.
And one weird statistic that I don't think I've ever seen before, maybe they've done this for a while, I've not seen this one. They had a chart that was titles played on first day of console usage, meaning you've bought a Switch, you turn it on, and you play these games within your first 24 hours. We're keeping track of that. Smash Bros. Was played 26% of the time of a new Switch getting turned on. And that number means this game is selling consoles, basically, is what that means. Yeah. People who are, 1/4 of the people who are starting up a new Switch are playing Smash Bros. On that first day. Which is pretty crazy.
That's really cool that they track that.
Yeah. Second and third place is Mario Kart 8 and Pokemon Let's Go at 16 and 13%, which is crazy because that is, Mario Kart is high on sales, but Pokemon not as much. I think it's like 5th or 6th on Switch sales, but it did sell consoles clearly. So I think that's pretty interesting stuff.
I can't wait for Astral Chain to bump them up to that 30.
Yeah.
If only, man. If only that were true.
Oh man, they're stopping by the offices of Platinum, just like maybe fiscal year 2019. They're like, we can't. All right. We're not gonna make it.
If only support that game.
Support that game. It's time
I
for
don't even
love.
know
if it's good. Hey, if it's good.
Yeah. Support. That's the asterisk, right? I assume it's going to be good.
If it's trash, let it die.
Right.
Let it just,
Right. If it's good, support that game.
It's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Man, this one's funny. I got to do this one. I just have a funny story for you guys. So a few years ago, I finally broke into the video game industry, making small VR games. The first game I was a part of was Spider-Man Homecoming VR. When it came close to release, the camera crew came in to record us for a little promo video. I made sure to wear my Easy Allies shirt, as I'm a big fan, and it was going to be used in some B-roll. I was really excited to tweet everyone at Easy A, but on the following frame trap, Kyle called it stupid. And I got really awkward and ended up not saying anything. Oh, no. It honestly wasn't even that big of a deal, and nowadays it's something I look back and have a chuckle from time to time. Just something I wanted to share. Love and respect, Steven.
Thank you, Steven.
You handled that really well, Steven.
Thank you for
Wait,
sharing
there's
that.
no like happy second part to that story.
No.
You just shattered this guy.
So the
'cause, like-
video exists, he just didn't share it.
Right, yeah.
So we got to find that video.
Yeah, we got to find that video. Thank you, Steven. But also
Proudly wearing.
you move on from other projects, right? Like your
Right.
first project's everything to you, and then like you
Yeah.
hate that project when you're on to your next project. I've been there many times where I just like, you know what, that sucked. Yeah.
Dude, Kyle, I have those moments, man, where I think like people who probably like slaved away are hearing me either describe this game incorrectly or trash on it or whatever, and you have to push it out.
Yeah.
Like we can't do our job if we're overly thinking about that. It's
Sure.
not that you're going to think about it sometimes, but yeah, you just have to push it out
Man,
as best you can.
now every time I call something trash, I'm gonna picture a person who made it wearing an Easy Allies shirt.
And, like excited to just message you and share their stuff with you.
They were typing you a DM in that moment. We're
Yeah.
like, delete.
Gotta say though, many of my problems with Spider-Man Homecoming VR were probably PSVR related, where it's just like, man, it just sucks. I hate this. Cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah, thank you. Let's dig in. Let's dig into this one. Sometimes there's some spice when you're about to record a podcast. You just feel it in the air, and you're like, okay, I need to capture this. I need to capture this little lightning bug, put it in a jar. Welcome to the jar, audience. Hello, allies. With the imminent release of the new Pokemon and Sonic live-action movies, there seems to be a stark contrast in public opinion between these two. Even though both movies have similar goals in attempting to create live-action game adaptations, Pokemon seems to be largely praised, while Sonic is mostly mocked. Why do you think this is? And in that vein, what is the key to having a successful game-movie adaptation? I can only remember a few decent game adaptations, which were critically and commercially successful. Love and respect, Rammer.
Teeth.
Teeth?
Good looking teeth.
Okay.
Answer me this question.
Yeah.
What does the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer effectively, excitedly capture about the spirit of Sonic?
Speed.
Does it excitedly do that in a way where you go like, oh man, that's so unique to Sonic and super cool? No, nothing. Everybody's like, hey man, Jim Carrey looks like he's being Jim Carrey in this movie, and I agree.
Do you agree?
He looks like he's being Jim Carrey.
I think he's being low-key Jim Carrey.
He doesn't look like he's being Dr. Robotnik. It looks like what is this movie trying to do?
Except for Ben, that final frame at the end, like this one's for the fans. He does look like Dr. Robotnik at the end of the movie. Why to put that in your trailer, you dum-dums?
Why? Yes, but nothing about this movie makes sense. Okay, you've got Jim Carrey just being Jim Carrey,
Yes.
which is fine, but not really evocative of Dr. Robotnik in any way. Okay, then you have Sonic in a bag. Why is Sonic being carried around in a bag by a cop?
So nobody
What
notices.
part of that is Sonic the Hedgehog? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nobody at Sonic Team was like, hey, in this next game, he needs to be carried around in a duffel bag by a cop.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's not even good. That's just bad.
Sonic runs circles around cops.
Yes!
Yes. Jones, you were looking antsy to jump in here.
Not that antsy.
Okay. Why, what's your take, man?
It's extremely simple. One, Detective Pikachu takes place in the world these video games take place in. This show takes place in. Like the lore might be different, or the story might go off in a different direction than some of the games that you've played, but like it's in this world.
Yes.
So like even you
That's a huge
can
difference.
appreciate like, oh,
Yeah.
there's Jigglypuff. Oh, Jigglypuff looks great. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you can appreciate these little tiny elements from the world.
Nobody has to hide a Jigglypuff in a bag.
Right.
Yes.
And like Ben was illustrating, like people are enjoying these visual representations of these characters. Even if they don't enjoy it, it's odd. You know, it is kind of bizarre to see Pikachu, but it's just like, wow, we've seen so many iterations of that. This kind of seems to be based on those. And this Sonic is just unapologetically a completely new, like this looks like nothing we have ever seen this character look like before, ever.
Yeah.
And so it's like very boldly making strides, like, and it's, for no apparent reason, just kind of like, no, we're not going to take any cues from anything. We're going to do our own thing, absolutely. And then, yeah, it's frustrating, not only like the bag, but just these actors having to carry the story where it's just like, wait, let James Marsden give you the plot. Wait, let's clearly Sonic needs his help. And it's like, why does Sonic need anyone's help? Like, he's the hero. It was like, I know this is not a movie to be upset about, but that's why I was tuned out of the Smurfs immediately. I was like, oh, they're making a Smurfs movie, yes. Oh, it's got humans in it. Never mind. I'm out. I don't care. Because that's crazy. You look at the Smurfs world and you're like, you know what this needs? People. And you're like, why? It's just they worked hard on creating all these characters in this world. Like, go there and then maybe have them come out. But it's just like,
yeah, I get it.
It's clearly got to come to our world.
Pokemon worlds are evocative of the real world, and so if you make a movie and it reminds us of our own world, that makes sense. Sonic is part of the beauty of Sonic is it's kind of like Mario, where like you can go anywhere and it can be anything, like Carnival Zone, like that is crazy and wild and fun and cool. Green Hill Zone, very colorful and splashy. Like this has none of that at all. Like you could be super crazy and clever and fun, and it just doesn't have any of that soul.
Yeah. Let me say a positive thing about Sonic. I think Ben Schwartz is very funny. Great delivery on Meow. Not a lot of Sonic. Like, give me more Sonic lines, man.
Right.
I didn't get that like chili dog eating too cool for school.
He'll get
Sonic.
there. The casting was perfect. Not clear in that trailer.
He also just looks horrid.
He looks horrid.
I think that this trailer will help Pokemon or Detective Pikachu. Like
It already has.
Yeah, but
I've already enjoyed Detective Pikachu because of the trailer of this movie.
like 100,000 extra people are gonna go see Detective Pikachu because of this trailer. But Devil's Advocate, I don't know. Maybe I just want to see the world burn. But like, man, this movie looks like chaotic insanity, and I'm snacking on it. Like Sonic looking so terrible, and everything about this movie seeming so wrong. I'm so there for it.
So
Oh, man.
Ian, if I was convinced that it was going to be that, where I could just go and watch like pure insanity,
right.
I would be amped. I think it's just going to be boring.
It's just gonna be bad. Yeah. You're
Even the
probably right.
poster for that super wacky Super Mario Brothers movie is better than this because you have two characters now. You have like Mario and Luigi, and like Dennis Hopper's in it. Great, he's playing Bowser 3. And then in this, it's like it's just Sonic.
Hey,
There's some sort of teleportation
that
thing
movie's
going on with
amazing.
rings, but that's about it. It's really just everyone else.
Nah, I think they sold this to Jim Carrey as like you are the main character. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like the way he like signed on to this is like you're gonna be able to chew up the scenery, old school, my friend. That's what I hate about his introduction when he's just like interrupting the police officer.
Yeah.
Just like
That guy's military, I think.
oh, military.
Yeah, he's like. captain.
Like unfunny. There's like,
Yeah.
where's your comedic like take on this, man?
Yeah.
Is there a post-credit scene involving Shadow?
Yes.
Then
Please.
this was all worth it.
Then it would all be worth
Then
it.
it's all worth it.
Is Tails in it?
The trailer.
No tails in the trailer.
He'll be in it.
But I think like besides our complaints, I think Jones touched on the truth of it in that like it doesn't take place strictly in the games, Jones. Like it doesn't play by all of the game's rules, but it at least respects Pokemon as like a world, right?
Sure.
And so I think that is like why everyone is kind of way more excited about that. Is that I think even in the first seconds of that trailer, it kind of plays off of everybody's everybody wants to own a Pokemon, right? Like we all want one, and it kind of plays off that, the dream of being in the Pokemon world.
Even if you had the same exact trailer, but just gave me like 15 seconds at the top of just like this gorgeous Green Hill Zone, and Sonic's like, he's like, this is where I used to live, and now I live in this stupid place, and you're like, oh, okay, he's kind of stuck here, and so it's like, well, that sucks, but he's like, nah, he just lives in a tree. I don't know, like, you know.
Well, there's one line in the trailer that made me think, like, is he like an alien in this movie? I can't remember what it was, but he was just like, whatever he said.
I think teleportation's gonna be like a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't love all the Pokemon designs in Detective Pikachu.
Oh, they're awful.
But I love, like, I think some of them like look great.
Which one looks great?
I think
Well,
I'm about to get
think-
offended.
Mr. Mime looks great.
Oh.
I think like hideous, but in a way that is great and true to that. I think Lickitung looks great. I think Greninja looks great.
I think Charizard looks awesome.
I think Charizard looks great. Yeah. Yeah.
Podcast over. Start the music.
What looks bad about
Podcast
Greninja?
He's gross.
Okay.
He's gross.
Fine, but is he as gross as Sonic? Are you gonna have to stare at him as long as you're gonna have to stare at goddamn Sonic? You're gonna have to stare at Sonic the whole time. You're gonna see these other guys like a little bit.
Not when he's in the bag, man. The bag's actually gonna be your favorite scene.
It's a mercy.
Bag is the entire second act. He spends the whole second act in the bag.
Like Gizmo and the Gremlins, just get him in the bag.
Oh boy. One more quick question. Hello. What is Cahrsurraurher's last name? I love and respect Corey. I thought everybody knew this. It's Hoove. It is now time for bets. Speaking of that Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, currently on YouTube, that has 104 thumbs up and 144K thumbs down.
Wait, only 104.
K. Sorry,
Oh,
I missed the
okay.
K.
Out of those
that would be
104 thumbs up,
devastating.
how many of those are trolls?
Like
of them?
like Ian, like sarcastic thumbs up.
Yeah, like love
yeah,
it.
yeah. I bet it's a lot. At least half,
I would
right?
never do that.
I think half trolls, 10%. I clicked the wrong button. Unknowingly.
They are very close to each other. So the differential right now is negative 44K. I was thinking about that. Is the differential actually just straight 44K? How do you say differential? I think there are 44,000 thumbs that are between those two.
Yeah, I think
The
the
way-
difference is a positive.
The way that I was
Yeah.
just thinking about this bet is like it has this many more up or this many more down.
Whether our numbers start with a negative or not, we know what those mean. And that is what we want to know next week. What will that differential be? Brandon Jones.
Spread.
90,000.
Okay. Ben.
100K.
Damiani.
Wrong one.
Yeah.
Not Mortal Kombat 11. 70,000.
You know what I was thinking of is, you know how we talked about like the specific number for people to be like addicted to your game or addicted to the lottery? Like there's just a specific number. There is a specific number of distance between being asked a question and saying the word sexy, and I think Damiani landed on it. He found it.
It was very good.
Sexy. Negative 44K.
Because
Ian.
if he said
We hit the equilibrium, yeah.
if he took that long and he said cute,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have come off the same way.
yeah.
It just wouldn't have worked.
Absolutely not.
60,000 for me.
Okay, let me lock those in. Last week's bet was about Avengers Endgame. We wanted to know what the tomato meter score for it would be. Jones, you bet 96%. Huber bet 85. He was very confident. Do you remember how confident he was?
very extremely
He did a
confident.
lot of research. He knew every single tomato meter for every single Marvel movie. Brad bet 93%. I bet 83%. I'll refresh the page right now. Oh, Ian's got it. And the tomato meter is 95%, just one beneath Jones's bet. Holy moly.
The confidence didn't work out.
That confidence.
Well, I had a lot of confidence too. I mean, I just read a lot of like the first people walking out of that premiere, and they were all like, oh my goodness.
I'm
Like,
more-
my mind is blown.
But like these are critics, man. I'm more impressed by that 95% than the 1 point whatever billion opening weekend.
Yeah, I think Infinity War kind of prepped people maybe because Infinity War is an odd film, even stranger than Avengers 1 and Avengers 2. It serves the purpose of finishing a story.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people kind of had that sentiment where they're like, well, it's not really a movie. It's just kind of like the chapter 15 or whatever of a book. And so I think they were like kind of prepped. I think a lot of people went into Endgame knowing maybe not what was going to happen, but what it was going to be.
Yeah.
And so I think in those fun ways where it did exceed their expectations, they just like got all bubbly. I don't know. I wasn't after Huber like put his foot down. I was like, maybe I'm totally wrong. Yeah.
Can you imagine being a Russo brother today?
Oh, the top 2 movies of all time. The
I
top
would-
2 opening weekends at least.
I would have my bathtub filled with gravy.
How much money personally do you think they got?
I have no idea.
That
But
would
like,
be the first thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
Like gravy?
yes.
That's vile.
I would call my assistant.
You don't specify to make
That's,
it
like,
hot
very
though. You
chill.
get it, it's
Yes.
cold gravy, and you're like, cold gravy.
Evan, I wanted warm gravy. Evan's my assistant.
Have you ever bathed in gravy?
Never bathed in gravy, man. I need to like apparently make $1 billion opening weekend.
You don't need that much money to do it.
But
Yeah,
like,
you want- we could bathe the gravy right now.
no, because I'll feel weird about it. That's the thing.
You're saying you need to
Yes.
reach that point in your life in order to be like,
Psychologically.
this is the only path forward for my life now.
That is
Yes.
gravy bath money, baby.
Yes, that is what I mean. What are they doing today, man? I like it's not the money so much as it's just like we made a 95%er. We made a highly successful, well-reviewed movie that wasn't possible to make. Enjoy your baths, gentlemen. That's the end of the podcast. Oh, total score now: Scrappy Little Pigs 10. Wee.
Sorry.
One more. Scrappy Little Pigs 10. Gorgeous Gorillas 7. Ian, it's been rough without you.
Oh,
Gorgeous Gorillas are what, 3 behind now?
I don't traditionally score too hot in the test.
Well, you're cutting into the spread this week pretty well.
Yeah,
coming
true.
in-
I'm
they have
pretty in the
60,
middle,
70,
yeah.
and 90. So
I got to tell everybody about patreon.com/easyallies. You bet. You better, you better, you bet. This is the URL you would want to go to if you are interested in supporting the Easy Allies. You want to see what else we do, what other kind of weird videos we make. Check that out. I always talk about $5 patrons get this podcast 2 days early. Hey, if you got excited about a little Endgame talk just now, you should know that $1 patrons get access to our exclusive series, one of which is Spoiler Mode, and there was a Spoiler Mode recorded today for Avengers Endgame. If you wanted us to dig in and really talk about stuff and we're disappointed that we kind of glossed over it in this podcast, get ready. How long was it?
over
2
2 hours.
Over 2 hours. Yeah, so any patron dollar up, any single patron gets access to that video. Oh, no. I got bad news. Cahrsurraurher just IM'd me.
He just got off the phone with Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he just got the thing. He got the Mountain Dew deal.
Damn it.
He said Code Red apparently part of the package. He's bragging about it, so I guess that's his. You know what? I think next week we'll do 3, because Cahrsurraurher is 1 ahead of us now. I think we should buy 2 out of 3, and then leave 1 at the store.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think it's fair for Cahrsurraurher to have one other ingredient that we don't have.
We got to save up doubloons, though.
Yeah, save our doubloons.
Gotta save our
Someone's
belts
gonna.
a little bit
You
this
leave
week.
that on the table. Someone's gonna take it.
Yeah. Hey, that is it. That is it. Jones, you ready to take it away?
Yeah.
You won the bet. You get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get to sign off with a trademark sign off, and you get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head in that moment. Go ahead.
Sweet. You can follow me at Trailer Jones.
I'm sorry, Jones. One last thing. An extremely popular segment, Tech Update with Ian Hink.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yes.
We kind of fixed the lights. I noticed that a different one went out during this.
yeah, I
podcast.
noticed that too. Some blinked.
And the desk blinked a little bit, but I have a way to address it maybe now, actually involving DMX addresses, that can fix it. But we fixed that other one, so I can check connections now. She showed me what to do, so it's within our hands to maybe fix it. But yeah, and I'll be gone again next week, just to let you heads up. But yeah, we're working on it.
I'm
Working
sorry.
on it.
You know, I'm really sorry to do that. I did not see a flicker throughout this whole podcast. I thought like we're gonna be like dancing.
It was behind Jones, and then the front desk flashed just for a second, the top bar. But bottom scenic wall stage right went out for a second, so which is left to the viewers.
Scenic wall stage right.
Yeah, which has never gone out before, or at least I don't remember that one going out. Yeah,
Also, we didn't do a fantasy update on this podcast because I don't want to do like more than one a month. But
I was winning for a
here.
second.
yeah, there was a big shift the last few weeks. I'm down big time. Ian way up. It's ugly.
I think Don's up now.
Don's up big time too. Yeah.
I'm checking now.
How did Left Alive not bury you?
I thought Left Alive was gonna be great for me. What do we have Left Alive?
Left Alive or Days Gone?
Oh, I didn't draft Left Alive.
Yeah,
I
nobody,
thought you
nobody
did.
got
It was my
Okay.
Pop-Tart, but I did not have confidence
Nobody
in it.
got Left
It's
Alive.
Days Gone with a 72, dude.
Yeah.
Days Gone. Why?
I counterpicked it though,
And you
I lost a
counterpicked
point.
it.
I lost a point on that because it's above 70.
But like I lost 11 because of Anno 1880 though. So like
Right,
losing one is no big whoop
Yeah.
compared to what Anno did to me.
Haha. So
I
yeah,
am so effed right
now. Bossman has 46. I've got 56, and Don has 68.
Oh, I need some pickups.
That-
I
boy,
also,
Don.
it's so perfect that all of Don's games are almost exactly 80.
Yeah.
It's
Like
just so perfect.
Don didn't pick like extreme winners. He picked sure things, which is the way to
Yeah,
win apparently.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, I'm hurt. Days Gone. You hurt me.
Wait till Control comes out, baby. I'm gonna smoke you.
So I'm glad we ended up getting a fantasy update in here anyway. Jones, sorry, you have the microphone again.
That's all right. I recommend that you check out, because I don't believe it's been posted yet, the new episode of Frame Trap.
It has been.
It has been.
Yeah.
It is now up. You can go watch that. That is with Mr. Kyle Bossman, who apparently rags on Dreams. You're just like, oh, I'm not into Dreams anymore.
No.
That's not saying I'm not into dreams anymore. It's not ragging on dreams.
What Kyle
dare
said.
you,
I think
Kyle.
that maybe I haven't looked at the comments, but
Yeah.
I imagine what maybe is causing some problems is Kyle said, "I expected the creations to be better than they are."
Ooh,
at
that
this
was
point
probably
in
pretty
time."
mean. That was
Yeah,
probably the meanest
yeah.
thing I said. As you know, when you dream
I
surfing?
streamed it this morning.
Yeah.
I stream every Tuesday morning, and he another little plug there that I squeezed in. And people before the stream were like, "Jones is our only hope." Ian's out, and Boss was not interested anymore.
Why am I out?
Play
I'm still
Jones.
learning it.
Well, no, just that you've been out of town.
Literally out. Yeah.
So I'm like holding the torch.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to tell you about, not to steal Dreams of the conversation, but I'm excited to pass on my knowledge of Dreams and things that hurdles I had to get over that I'm like, I think this might be issues that you're facing. And literally even like a week later, like a lot of really cool stuff is coming into that.
Jones.
That shop.
Really cool stuff.
Just the beginning, because like what a lot of people do is they'll make stuff and then be like, all right, I'm starting this, and so you'll play like, oh, this is neat. Oh, it's over. Okay, well they're gonna continue with it.
Because like here's what gets headlines. This makes me furious. It's like this person made the opening of Spider-Man in Dreams.
Right.
And it's like, I know that was really hard work. This is not easy.
Yeah.
But like,
That's what I'm
dude.
here for.
But also like, way worse. It doesn't look like, that's not what the opening of Spider-Man looks like. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's like this person made Minecraft, and it's like, no, you did not make Minecraft. I do see some really, really good stuff, and it's
Yeah.
not those. It's not like this person made this in Dreams, you know?
Kyle, I don't know how well the audience would take it, but just me on a personal viewer level, if we just had like a show where you just ripped on Dreams things, I would find it hysterical.
I think it'd have to be.
I select a custom pick the ones you're going to play.
Yeah.
I think it'd have to be me and Jones. I think like a Simon Cowell would not work at his own show. American Idol is just Simon telling people they're not that good.
Right.
But you're not Simon Cowell, because what you liked that unicorn thing. You thought it was the best thing that was ever made.
Simon cries sometimes, man. He sometimes he likes things. He doesn't hate everything.
Yeah, but I can understand it.
Wait, are you saying you could not understand Unicorn Grove?
Not that level of affection versus everything else.
I saw that part. It was pretty good.
Well, maybe I just don't. Maybe it's just me. Maybe everyone else understands. But sometimes I'm confused. But I find joy in that confusion. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm
No, that's fine.
ruining your.
Why we
fun.
were originally talking about Frame Trap, so we can talk
Yeah.
about Dreams as much as we
Yeah.
want. But
yeah, Frame Trap.
Kyle, who's wonderful on his own, but
Yeah.
also the very wonderful Maximilian Dude joined us for that episode of Frame Trap, and I'm very much, now that that's been published, I'm very much looking forward to diving into the deep end of that podcast episode, because we have talked to him on social media over the years, but I've never collaborated directly, and so thank you very much to Max for coming in and sitting down on our stage.
For 4 hours.
For 4 hours.
Don't you sign off without a final word?
I'm gonna do my final word.
Okay, just making sure. You picked up the listeners. He picked up the mug, which is
did.
always the sign off. I got nervous.
Final word.
The end is part of the journey. Cheers.
Is that a BBT spoiler?
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. River Horse, Able Gamers, Car Keys Express, El Fanis, Fan Gamer, Hogue Law, Sweet Justice, Y2 Kyle 89, Blue, Jojo Dentco, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Accounts Payable, Caleb Crawford, OM Hochstetler, Oh Yes, Cool Great, Nick, Walker Hope, Sam G, Will Schmuck, Michael Yao, Bradley Spees, Jay Shee, Paulo Costabel, Professor Metal Gear, Jake Musser, Richard G. Flowers, Beaten Down Brian, Dave Red, Zachary Wingate, Jan Tyson, Ken Layer, Corey Jackson, Dan Sebring, Michael Bisegli, David Balfour, Andrew Reif, Sigma, Tim O'Keefe, Ethan R.C., Mick Roper, Robert Stoffel, Hayden Hargraves, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Damnable Nook, Anti-Ataraxia, Ali Cat, Happy Gaming, Demos Clay, Chum Nguyen, Miguel Rivas, Discarded Digit, Thomas Wigginton Jr., Neil Bruce, Matthew Pauling, Gino A. Leet, James Vitt, Jason A. Sackle, Luke Bennett, Candy Coated Thorns, 44 Stars, Jenny Markula, G. Levin, G. Ken, Stephen Thomason, Yasser Kerbushi, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Marcel Giru 17 Froelich, Samsa Stormbaum, Alex AI, Niz Klojgard, Rack, John Burns, Flojevin, Brad Lohman, DRD 7 of 14, Brad Grenz, Todd Yurkovic, Joe Burns, Patrick Chong, Sam Handrick, Jiff W52, Andy Drew, Lars Berger, Jordan Kirk, Steve Fallon, Stephen Last, HMS May Cry, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joachim Morovuo, Mango, Kelvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, David Wen, Jesper Lawson, Oni Blackmage, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Catherine Lai, Gary James, John Santoro, Neuromod, Robert Crouch, Mikhail Aniel, Ulf himself, Jeffrey Ruchtenwald, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Wavering Radiant, Scott Adams, V8 Dave, Leroy Anderson, Eric Gustafson, Paul Sway, Toasty Soul, Christian Hundorf, Daniel Fuchs, Tony Knox, Isun Chor, Forrest, Caleb Ledoux, Mike Hook 1, Vilar, Mauricio Fuentes, Token Gamer, Quick Scares, Ian Ladarzik, Brian Foster, The Classiest Hobo, Vokaiser, Madman Kevin, Zintrax, Corey Landega, Unlucky Irish, Modren, Pooh Strongbeard, Paul Bishop, Travis Miosi, Carl Williams, Jalen Scott, Jake in Japan, Brandon White, Sean Mackey, Gabriel Aberg, Morpheus, Sean M. Gabaldon, Reed Johnson, Joe Rutsky, Nergal 131, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Adam Sharonbrock, Not Jack, Kurzis Stavrogowski, Volker Bach, James Vest, Allison Burt, Ryan Feller, Jesse Ray, Bjornar Haraldvik, Blake Bonsack, Sean Day Almeida, Cisco Ace Jackson Garcia, Kiraz, Trizac, Wouter DeHaze, Matthew Holmes, Eric Maynard, Fabian Winkler, General Piet, Hassan Kiat, Leon Keys, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, JC3, Adam Lindsay, Shauna Metz, Todd Paxton, Faraz Rizvi, Andreas Bard, Jared Wheeler, Jeff Easton, Dakota Hayes, Matthew Brown, Zoostick, Don Turner, Masuki 211, Alexander Zirianov, Aaron Kirk, Jesse Fish, Paul Molson, Jason Joint, Edison S. Prada Jr., Alexander Breveglieri, Sarah Wampler, Travis Ing, Ahmad Al-Rashed, Butt Puddin, Tuttle, Furious Action Gamer, Jonathan and Amy Alconis, Stuart Siddall, Michael Schreiber, Mac Reed, Haley Hill, Andrew Stoke, Matt Gunther, There Is No Dana, Only Zool, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, 1D10 The Show, Kyle Quintero, Sebastian Trier, Aurelien Grenier, Michael Pliskin, Bonnie and Jason Connor, BB Chan, Wenbo Sean, Stephen Walther, Matt, Kevin Camposano, Carlos Zuniga, Diggles, Ryan Cohen, XWF Outlaw, Ibrahim Sozer, Jack Cullen, Momo Rashid, Rickard Embaum, Michael Clendenan, Red Roll Art, Sean German Efficiency Clinton, S Snake 24, Lee Young, Timo Yeager, Lindsey Wells, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Paulkin Stirs and Stirs, Nicholas Kroboff, Mikey Mizek Novak, Joey Din, Luca Martini, Adam Henry, Ms. Racy, Beautiful Kai, Sean Rowe, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Strikeout NZ, Michael Lay, Kenneth Brosius, Mike Calvi, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Daniel Wong, Hadi Ali, Jameson Anderson, Noah Weinstein, Vincent Foliat, Hutchitron, Ahab, Neobear, Sebastian Olson, Matthew Migler, Santiago Carrillo, Alex Glass, Junya Motomura, Delisi, Tim Strothman, Mithers Strongbeard, Daniel Data, Nycrypt, Mons Anderson, Ivan Skogheim, Jai Aldiar, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Awesome Express, Matt Ferguson, Vishal Singh, Felipe Aguilera, William Heaney, Krister Lundmark, Tim Mann, Chris the Pianist, Michelle Nubb, Michael Stevens, Sandra and Richard Acero, Andrew Smith, Battleox, Tiana Salazar, Randy Blakely, Pablo Rodriguez, Matthew Colomb, Stephen N. Parker, Jordan Phillips, Mick Malloy, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Sun Pham, Jamies, David Amaro, Alex Monaco, Jacob Blobong, Arthur Henrique Chinaglia, Zach Kaczynski, Jameson Lapine, Nuno Amaral, David Boyarski, Rahiv Maharaj, Ryan Wagner, Pete Cerny, Joachim Wiederberg, Christopher Santos, Egg Stravaganza, Gali Gutierrez, Chris LaRue, The Fatty Show, Tender Brew, Jason Shields, Mohamed Saber, Sud Almasafar, Stephen Cassell, Remy Loisel, Michael Kozachenko, Michael Bologna, Pete Shoemaker, Repus Edud, Irvin De La Torre, Max Harms, Cyberboa, Christoph Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, GW Fox, Alexander McGeekern, Jeffrey Murillo, Mazrim Tain, Chris Bennett, Liam Ahern, Crediar, Jesse Fatelli, A Pack of Puppies, V. Cura Ray, Tristan Howard, Jason I, Ronka Q, Sean Cornett, Andy Marks, Jeremiah Snowden, Materia Addict, Robert I, Will Arrowwood, Tyler Wallace, Julius Garcia, Blastermaster, Gustav Strombone, Christoph Packlinger, Alex Lavanier, Ian Anderson, Nefertiti Jenkins, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Cal, Joel Olson, Quinn Riley, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Michael Rebelato, Matt Karwoski, Patrick, Logan Young, Trevor Thomas, Ray Smith, Toby D. Rymanschneider, Matthias Clare, Self-Imposed Illegitimate Child, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Magnus Rasmussen, Rob Vedvik, Clinton Hayes, Seyun Kim, Struggler, Jose Gutierrez, Tense George, Dominic Brown, Sal Rahman, Chad McIntosh, Bunny Chen, Isaac Swanson, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Kari Carson, Ian Anderson, Zahid Hosseini Karami, Dan Pan 16, C.S. Lewis, Oruguchino, Splontot, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Hoggensen Peterson, Colin Hoylman, Reed Marlett, Thorfkin, Jethrin, Max His Shame Turman, Shanley Ladia, Rerun, Linson Wu, Luis Ibarra, Philip Higdon, James Brown, Max Cannon, Spencer Stevens, Supernova Smith, Russell Bateman, BM5, Richard Gunther, Jesse Blue, Ivan Ponce, Jay Potter, Christopher A. Butler, Sean Essen, Sebastian Urban, Matt Ford, Marco Zanone, Alec Church, Culinary Stud.